Why I'm doing the Oasis. This is a little different than the other video. Okay. Why did I start the Oasis? Why did I start building the Oasis? The Oasis is something that has been on my mind for a very long time. And what happened was, I guess it was last year about this time. Maybe it might have been early November instead of late November. Because it was late November when I approached my mom and my brother about taking over their backyard. At any rate, I saw a video in my YouTube channel that caught my eye. Fortunately, my algorithm picks up some decent ones from time to time. Most of the time it sends me crap. It tries to send me to mainstream media news for some ungodly reason. It doesn't seem to understand that I don't watch that crap. At any rate, it sent me a video from My Self-Reliance channel. Sean James, I think is his name. Really great site. And what it was a 2-hour video he did about, and he titled it, Guy Leaves the City and Builds a Cabin in the Woods, or something along that line. So I went, well, that sounds interesting. And then I watched it. And he'd already been doing this for 2 years. And it was his 2-year accumulation of videos at that point. He did a very long extended cut of everything he did over the course of 2 years, building his log cabin. And on his land in Ontario, in the Ontario wilderness. And it was quite an amazing piece to watch. It watched from when he cleared the ground, laid his foundation, built his logs, skinned his logs, cut his logs, drug his logs manually lifted his logs up, and then he chinked it all up. It was just an amazing thing to watch. One guy. And then I started watching some of his other videos and his explanations for it, and he was a businessman, fairly successful one. I guess he had some money. That's my best guess, is he had some money, so it allowed him to do this and just leave it all behind. Not everybody has that opportunity, but there are ways to do things when you don't have the money, which is my position. I still have to work. As you can see, my videos are only weekends only, but eventually this is going to be my full-time life. But it was an amazing thing to watch, and it inspired me, and and then when I found out that he's only like 3 years younger than me. He's not that much younger than me. He's not like in his 30s. I'm in my mid-50s. He's in his early 50s. So I realized, okay, I can do this. I've already changed my life. I started changing my life about 6 years ago. I'm 56 now. What the hell? And it was my 49th year. Earlier that year, my oldest son, who at the time was 7, asked me a simple question when we were driving somewhere one time. I was driving him and his brother, and they like to talk a lot when we're driving, which is one of the reasons why I enjoy driving with my kids, because they so many questions, and I get so much talking time with them when we're driving. Anyway, he asked me a simple question, and it was an innocent question, the question of a child. Only a child would dare ask this question. Nobody else would dare ask this question. He looked at me, or he wasn't, I don't know if he looked at me, but how old are you? And I told him I was, 49 years old. And he knew how old he was, and at this time he could already do basic math, addition, subtraction, etc., etc. He knew how old he was how many years it was till he was going to be a teenager. And he was doing the math, and he looked at me, and of course at that time my health was in pretty poor shape. I didn't realize how poor shape I'd let myself go. And he asked me a simple question. He goes, "Dad, will you still be alive when I'm a teenager?" And I sort of stumbled on that for a moment and quickly answered, well, of course I will be. But in my head, I'm looking down. I had a gut. I didn't even have a beer belly. I had a fat belly. I was overweight. I was overweight by about 45, 50 pounds overweight. I was looking really sallow. I've got a photo somewhere online of me before I started running, the day I bought my running equipment. I bought my running equipment and my hair and everything else at the time, and my face, I could see how fat and chubby I was in my face, everything. At any rate, I realized that I'm thinking to myself, you know, if I don't do something, there's a good chance I might not be alive when he's a teenager. So I started looking into it, hired myself a personal trainer, rediscovered I loved running. I forgot I loved running. I used to run when I was in junior high and high school. I ran cross country. Rediscovered running. That helped bring my health back. Then, about 3 years into it, I injured my knee while running cross country, running trails, when a dog came out of a bush and caused me to spin in a weird way. The dog crashed into me, caused me to spin, caused me to pull the muscles in my knee. And it made it so I couldn't run more than a kilometer without massive knee pain. So what I did was I hired a personal trainer. Again, I hired a personal trainer and told him what my problem was, what we needed to fix. Well, he not only fixed my knee, he helped me fix everything else. I gained muscle mass. I gained mass amounts of muscle mass. I went from not even being able to deadlift the empty bar, but to being able to deadlift 260 pounds. And I only weigh, well, I now weigh 180 pounds, but it's solid muscle, 180 pounds. It's not I was weighing 180 pounds before I started this, but it was fat. You know, 50, 60 pounds of it was pure fat. So now I'm weighing it, but so I can deadlift more than I weigh, which is an amazing thing for me. I don't know if I've ever been able to do that in my life. Of course, the corona has ended my relationship with my personal trainer. But I still do things to keep my muscles built up and toned. I don't have the weights. I should go to the gym and work out, but I don't like all the restrictions. I'm not a big one for restrictions on shit. So, at any rate, that's the reason I'm doing these things. That's the reason I'm doing this, is because I'm doing this for myself. I'm doing this for my kids. I'm doing this for my kids' future, because I realize they need me until they're old enough to totally fend for themselves. And that's why I'm doing this. And that's where the inspiration came from. It came from my Self-Reliance channel. He gave me lots of inspiration, and from his channel I leaped to other channels, and more and more and more, and other people. And I've been building up a skill set that I wish I had gotten into 10 years ago, or even 20 years ago. 30 years ago, I was already doing things like this. 30 years ago, I used to do shit like this. But I changed my life at that point in time, thinking I was changing it in the right direction. And in some aspects, it was the right direction. In other aspects, it was completely the wrong direction. But we are the culmination of all the decisions we make in our life. Whatever decisions we make in our life, that is who we are. You know, at whatever age you are, all the decisions you made up to that point in your life is who you are. But that's not who you're going to be. You still have opportunity to make new decisions, new choices. Do something different in your life. You can do or be anything you want. And that's the thing that is important. And I'm trying to get my boys to understand that they can change the direction of their life at any point in time they want. If they don't like the direction it's going at one point, at any given point, they can change it and do something different and suddenly make a difference in the things they're doing. You know, improve their skills. You know, learn something new. Start a new hobby. You never know if a hobby might lead you to a business. This one sure has. When I started here, I didn't initially expect it to be a business. But the more I did it, the more I started talking to some folks, the more I came to realize I was on target for a business, which is what I'm planning for now. Planning for a business. And you will see that in the coming months at the Rogues Tavern. Go check out theroguestavern.com. It's going to be an amazing business. It's my exit plan, my exit strategy from the world of technology. I mean, currently I make my living doing web development and design. But this is going to be a big change for me. At any rate, that's why I'm doing this and why I wanted to make mention of where it started, where it came from, and why I'm on this track.